Kentucky, a hidden natural gem where ancient mountains rise tall against the sky. But behind all that beauty lies a painful story, one filled with struggle, chronic poverty, and dreams slowly fading into the past. These towns were once built on the promises of industry, but that promise has collapsed, leaving behind communities stranded in the middle of a deep economic and social crisis. Well, today, we're going deeper, right into the heart of Eastern Appalachia, to uncover some of the worst small towns in Kentucky. Towns that were once thriving, but now are fighting just to survive. So which towns are trapped in this cycle of hardship, and why is it so hard for them to recover? Let's dive in and find out. We begin our journey in Beattyville, a town long known as one of the poorest white communities in America. Of its roughly 2,000 residents, more than 85% are white. And the poverty rate here, it's no joke, staying above 40% for years. Downtown, most stores are still open, but they rarely see much foot traffic. The main streets often look nearly empty. Beattyville is a textbook example of Appalachia's double crisis: the collapse of the coal industry and the ongoing opioid epidemic, both of which have shattered families and torn apart community structures. And yet, in the middle of all this hardship, they still hold the annual Woolly Worm Festival, a quirky tradition where fuzzy caterpillars are used to predict the winter. It's a symbol of resilience, a community clinging to any glimmer of hope in a brutally tough reality. Next is Jackson, a town in Breathitt County. While Beattyville struggles with extreme poverty, Jackson faces a different challenge: a sharp and steady population decline. Since its peak in the 1980s, the town has kept losing people, especially younger generations forced to move away in search of jobs. The community was originally called Breathitt Town, or Breathitt Courthouse, named after the county it belongs to. In 1845, the same year President Andrew Jackson died, the Kentucky General Assembly officially named the town Jackson in his honor. Yes, the town holds historical connections, even to political legacies like that of former Kentucky Governor Bert T. Combs. But the truth is, Jackson remains stuck in a post-coal economy dominated by public sector and service jobs, with no major private industry to drive real growth. You can feel the sense of loss just walking its quiet streets. From population loss, we now shift to one of the deepest pockets of poverty in the state. Campton, the seat of Wolfe County, bears a particularly heavy burden. Wolfe County is consistently ranked as one of Kentucky's poorest counties, and Campton sits right at the heart of that struggle. The poverty stats here are heartbreaking. Nearly 50% of residents live in poverty, and that number jumps to almost 60% for retired seniors. This creates a cycle of generational poverty that's nearly impossible to break. Still, there are signs of history and dignity, like the courthouse built in 1917, standing tall in the center of town. But its presence feels almost ironic, a symbol of civic strength in a community gripped by deep economic vulnerability. From Wolfe County, our journey moves into McCreary County, home to at least two small towns struggling in similar ways. First, in Whitley City, the county seat, the signs of economic hardship are hard to miss. Drug issues continue to cast a shadow over its younger generation. This town has one of the lowest median household incomes in all of Kentucky. Based on recent data, the number sits at just $31,250, far below the state average of around $62,190. With a population of only 782 people, housing is sparse, and job opportunities are limited mostly to schools, a small hospital, and a handful of local stores. Whitley City faces a serious challenge in attracting new investment, largely because of its remote location tucked deep within the Appalachian hills. Here, you can truly feel the distance between the prosperous Kentucky and the Kentucky that's been left behind. Just a few miles from Whitley City is Stearns, a town no less fragile. But unlike many others, Stearns has a more specific past. This was once a classic company town, where everything, from stores to houses, was owned by the coal company that controlled every part of life. At its peak in the 1920s, more than 2,200 people called it home. When the mines eventually shut down, Stearns lost its soul. What remains now are faded memories of an industry that once roared, now rusted, leaving behind outdated infrastructure and little hope for residents to find well-paying jobs. Like a living monument, Stearns is a reminder of what happens when an entire town depends on a single industry. But if you want to see a place hit hardest by economic pain, you have to go to the town located in what is statistically the poorest county in the entire United States. Welcome to Booneville, the main town of Owsley County. Over the years, data has consistently ranked Owsley County as one of the most impoverished in all of America, with nearly half of its population living below the poverty line. Life here is shaped by extreme geographic isolation. Roads are tough to navigate, healthcare access is limited, and educational opportunities are often lacking. The people here are known for their resilience and deep family values. But in reality, they're also among the most vulnerable to economic crisis. In Booneville, hardship isn't measured just by statistics. It's seen in the lack of options and the everyday struggle to access life's basic services. A similar story can be found in a town whose name is practically synonymous with coal. Harlan County, the historic heart of Kentucky coal, with its main town also called Harlan. Once a powerhouse of American energy, the area was vital to the nation's growth. But as coal demand declined and machinery replaced miners, the engines stopped running and people were left without work. Today, Harlan stands as a symbol of failed economic recovery, where chronic unemployment has become a way of life. Every inch of the town feels like it echoes with memories of its once great past, haunted by the absence of a clear path forward. Meanwhile, in Bell County, there's Middlesboro, a town with a truly unique fact. It's built inside a meteor crater. That's right. The entire city sits within a 4.8-kilometer wide impact site, earning it the nickname Crater City. While it's larger in population than many others on this list, home to over 9,000 people, Middlesboro faces equally steep challenges, with an overall poverty rate of 28.8%. Its unusual geography, which could be a tourism asset, ironically acts as a barrier to modern development and private investment. Middlesboro proves that in Appalachia, size doesn't guarantee economic stability. Even with the oldest continuously played golf course in the eastern U.S., the Middlesboro Country Club, the city struggles to thrive. From coal country to meteor craters, we now turn to a town facing a multi-layered crisis, especially as a regional hub. Hazard, located in Perry County, has long been in the news for two reasons: poverty and its tragic role as ground zero of Kentucky's opioid crisis. The town has been hit hard by the addiction epidemic, which has claimed thousands of lives and torn countless families apart. On top of that, Hazard recently faced a natural disaster. flash floods that devastated homes and infrastructure. Hazard is a town under siege, battling a triple threat: economic collapse, a social health emergency, and environmental destruction, all at once. Next is the town of Prestonsburg in Floyd County. This was once a thriving county seat, a busy hub that enjoyed a golden era powered by the energy industry at its core. But like many towns in Appalachia, that success has faded. Today, Prestonsburg stands as a regional example of decline across the board. A steady drop in population and the loss of tax revenue have placed major pressure on public services. Despite revitalization efforts, it's hard to compete with the access and opportunities offered by larger cities outside the mountains. And yes, like falling dominoes, economic hardship in Floyd County has spread into the smaller nearby communities. The town of Martin, however, faces a different challenge: infrastructure. When coal companies pulled out, they didn't just leave behind empty land. They left behind people struggling with the basics. There are even reports of residents going without stable water or electricity during harsh winter months. Martin is a reminder that coal's legacy isn't just poverty, it also includes broken infrastructure, left as a burden for small towns that lack the resources to fix it. Then there's Hyden in Leslie County, a town that shows a stark contrast. Tucked between steep coal hills and dense forest, Hyden is the very definition of Appalachian isolation. It's a place almost entirely cut off geographically. But that isolation isn't just a visual detail. It's the biggest challenge of daily life. Twisting, damaged roads mean that basic costs, like fuel and groceries, are far higher than average. That same isolation keeps businesses from investing, as few are willing to operate in such a remote area. More critically, it directly limits access to essential services. From medical care to higher education, the town's small population of just 273 people often must travel hours just to reach what others consider basic necessities. Next up, have you ever heard of Barbourville? This town in Knox County may appear clean and peaceful on the surface, but it consistently ranks among the lowest income counties in all of Kentucky. Like much of the region, it's been hit hard by the decline of traditional industry. Still, Barbourville has one bright spot offering a glimmer of hope: Union College, a private liberal arts institution. The presence of this campus does more than offer education. It provides jobs and breathes cultural life into the local economy. Today, Barbourville is working to build around this educational asset, aiming to rise out of poverty by laying a new foundation focused on knowledge and service. Heading north, we see that economic hardship reaches beyond the densest parts of coal country. Irvine, in Estill County, shows how deep that struggle runs. This town faces the familiar problems of aging infrastructure, crumbling bridges, worn-down roads, and a lack of new investment to create modern jobs. Irvine is a hard-working town that feels forgotten, stuck between a stagnant local economy and fast-growing metro areas. For many residents, working means driving long distances outside the county, as job options within Irvine itself continue to disappear. We end this list in the town of Hindman, a place that reflects everything we've seen: chronic poverty, isolation, and most recently, natural disaster. Hindman was one of the hardest hit areas during the devastating 2022 flash floods. The disaster didn't just destroy homes, it wiped out the last few support systems the community had, including its library and local community center. But from the wreckage, a powerful spirit emerged, anchored by places like the historic Hindman Settlement School, which has served the area for over a century. As residents work together to rebuild, Hindman stands as a symbol of relentless determination, a town fighting both nature and economics, and proving that its real strength lies in its deep cultural roots. From Beattyville to Hindman, we've explored 15 towns carrying the heavy weight of a deindustrialized America. This isn't just about poverty stats. It's about people deeply rooted in their land, surviving amid economic collapse, public health crises, and natural disasters. Behind every quiet street and shuttered storefront, there's pride and a hope that refuses to die. In the end, these communities need more than sympathy. They need strategic investment, job retraining, and resources to fight the opioid crisis. So now the question is, of the 15 towns we visited, which one do you think shows the strongest spirit to rise again?